quality workers whose talents fit the jobs to be done. An advertisement once run by Motorola Corporation clearly states the goal for activity is learning how to hire the person who is right to the job. To attract the right people, an organization must first know exactly what it is looking for. It must have a clear understanding of the jobs to be done and the talents required to do them well. Then, it must have a system in place to excel at employee recruitment and selection. To know it further about the process and qualification to hire a worker or right person to the right job, let's watch the presentation of my groupmates to discuss their assigned topics.
Planning. Human resource planning, it is the process of analyzing an organization and staffing needs and determining how to best fill them. There are steps in strategic human resource planning. Step 1, review organization, mission, objectives, and strategies. Step 2, review human resource objectives and strategies. Step 3, assess current human resources. In this step, it is how many people are available now and with what qualifications. Step 4, forecast human resource needs. Human resource forecasting is the first step in the staffing process. Management must determine how many people it will need to manage operations over the next 6 to 12 months, how many it has presently, and how any gap will be handled. Step 5, develop and implement human resource plans to match people and job openings. Recruiting and selection, training and development, compensation and benefits, labor management relations. The foundation for human resource planning begin with job analysis, the orderly study of job facts to determine what is done when, where, how, why, and by whom. This information is then used to write or update job descriptions that describe specific job duties and responsibilities. The information in a job analysis is used to create job specifications. There are lists of qualifications such as education, prior experiences, and skills needed by someone hired for a given job. These specifications become important inputs to the recruiting process.
My discussion is all about recruiting process and realistic job reviews. Recruiting process is a set of activities designed to attract a talented pool of job applicants to an organization. Recruiting process has 3 steps in a typical recruitment process are: number 1, advertisement of a job vacancy. Advertisement of a job vacancy is an announcement of an open job position. Its goal is to inform potential job candidates about a new opening and attract them to apply. Number 2 is preliminary contact with potential job candidates. It is where an applicant tells or shows his or her strengths, skills, and or experiences that can help the organization reach its goals. Number 3 is the initial screening to create a pool of applicants potentially meeting the organization's staffing needs. It is a phone call or in-person meeting organized by a recruiter to evaluate a job candidate's qualifications. And recruiting process has 2 types. The 2 types are the external and internal recruitment. The external recruitment is where the recruiting that takes place on college campuses. It is one of the examples of external recruitment, in which job candidates are sought from outside the hiring organization. External recruits are found through company websites and social media sites. Virtual job affairs. Virtual job fairs, specialized recruiting websites such as Monster and Career Builder, employment agencies and headhunters, university placement centers, personal contacts, and employee referrals. While the internal recruitment, by contrast, seeks applicants from inside the organization. Most organizations have a procedure for announcing vacancies through newsletters, electronic postings, and the like. They also rely on managers and team leaders to recommend internal candidates for advancement. Both recruitment methods have potential advantages and disadvantages. External recruitment brings outside applicants with fresh perspectives, expertise, and work experience, but extra effort is needed to get reliable information on them. A major downside of recruiting externally is that the hiring decision might turn out bad, because either not enough information was gathered about the applicant, or what was discovered turned out to be inaccurate. While the internal recruitment is usually quicker and focuses on persons whose performance records are well known. The history of internal recruitment builds loyalty and motivation in the workforce by showing that opportunities exist to advance within the organization. It also helps to reduce turnover rates and aids in the retention of high-quality employees. But internal recruitment has downsides as well. Limited job searches and only internal talent pools raises the risk that the best candidate may not be chosen for a position. A valuable opportunity to bring in outside expertise and viewpoints might be lost at the very time when new insights, skills, and creativity are most needed by the organization. Realistic job review. In what may be called traditional recruitment, it is the emphasis on selling the job and organizations to applicants. The focus is on communicating the most positive features of the position, perhaps to the point where negatives are downplayed or concealed. This may create unrealistic expectations that cause costly turnover when new hires become disillusioned and quit. The individual suffers a career disruption. The employer suffers lost productivity and the added cost of having to recruit again. The alternative to traditional recruitment is a realistic job review that gives the candidate all pertinent information about the job and organizations without distortion, and before the job is accepted, instead of selling the applicant on the positive features of the job or organization. Realistic job reviews try to be open and balanced. Both favorable and unfavorable aspects are covered. The interviewer in a realistic job review might use phrases such as, "Of course, there are some downsides. Something that you will want to be prepared for is, and we have found that some new hires have difficulty with," and such conversations may lead some applicants to decide that the job is not for them. But this avoids a mismatch that could prove troublesome later. For those who do take the job, knowing both the positive and negative features ahead of time builds realistic expectations and better prepares them for the inevitable ups and downs of a new position. The expected benefits of realistic recruiting practices include higher levels of early job satisfaction, greater trust in the organization, and less inclination to quit prematurely. That's all. Thank you.
skills to be hired, such as the best person or the best qualification of applicants. Who do you think is better? Most of employees select their applicants based on their qualification, like knowledge, skills, and ability. Knowledge is what we've learned from school. It's the theoretical understanding of one subject, while skills has two types. It is the technical skills and soft skills. Technical skill is the first is refers to specific tasks like cooking, manipulating a computer, and selling a product, while the other one, soft skills, are often reasons of employers whether to keep or promote their employees. The example of these skills should be having a characteristic of good communicating, critical thinker, flexible, and a quick learner. Some others pay less attention to qualifications and focus on finding an individual whose traits, let's say intelligence and consciousness, offers long-term success potential. Applicants should be wise in decision making. Their intelligence can be used in a long-term process which can lead one business to boom as well as the person enhance their cleverness. The characters should be flexible, quick learners, wise in decision making, and adaptable. Which approach the best? To a large content, it depends on the situation. If an organization needs to fill an immediate need, hiring for qualifications is generally preferred. Meaning, these companies who are in hurry, hiring and not able to invest time on training. While in situations that are dynamic and fast-changing, then hiring the best person may result in better long-term performance.
Right. So what I'm about to discuss here is all about reliability and validity, and also about interview. So on the first slide, reliability means that the selection technique is consistent in how it measures something. So the example of reliability is when a personality test is reliable if the same individual receives similar scores when taking the test on two separate occasions. So the other meaning of reliability is that a selection device gives consistent results over repeated measures. So on the second slides, we talk about validity. So validity means that there is a clear relationship between what the selection device is measuring and eventual job performance. So the example of validity is that outperform individuals with low scores. And the other meaning of validity is that the scores on a selection device have demonstrated links with future job performance. That was on the first slide. So on the next slide, we talk about interviews. So interviews is essentially a structured conversation where one participant asks questions and other provide answers. So in common parlance, the word interview refers to a one-on-one conversation between an interviewer and interviewee. So when we talk about interview, the first thing that comes to my mind is when we are going to look for a job, then we have to get some interview first so that we know which job is suited for us. So the purpose of an interview is that the goal is to present yourself as the best candidate for the position and the interviewer's organization to determine whether both are well suited for you and your
career goals. That's all, and thank you.
And the last process in hiring is the employment test. So what is the use of employment test? It is often used to identify candidates' traits. It is a way of employers to know better the applicant's personality, aptitudes, intelligence, interests, and even ethics. So the first method is by data method. It collects certain biographical information that has been proven to correlate with good job performance. It is a self-questionnaire includes soft items that inquires about abstract things such as value judgment, aspirations, motivations, attitudes, and expectations. By a data method can increase their reliability and validity. Second way to know the reliability and validity of applicants is by assessment center. It examines how just candidates handle simulated work situations. It evaluates a person's potential by observing his or her performance in experimental activities designed to simulate daily work. And lastly, the work sampling. Applicants are evaluated while performing an actual job or task. When using this method, companies ask applicants to do an actual job or task while being graded by the observer. However, generally speaking, organizations should use the combination of two methods in order to increase the validity of the selection process.